as well as discrete signals. So sometimes a given mathematically signal may complete describe a signal. So a mathematical function can completely describe a signal. That means if it is a sinusoid signal, which can be described if you know the frequency and the phase shift, then it is always possible to define a particular sinusoid signal. Similarly, various real-life signals can be expressed in terms of mathematical function. Almost all signals can be expressed in terms of the mathematical function, whether it be the periodic signal or aperiodic signals or so on. So one can use the Fourier series or Fourier transforms to represent various signals as well. Or one can, if not, some can use the trigonometric functions, or one can use the exponential or nonlinear functions, and so on. So the different operations are required for different purposes. So here we'll be discussing the time shifting, time scaling, time inversion, or time folding. So these are the various operations on the signals. What we can perform will be discussed in this today's class. So, so what we will be discussing here is the operations on signals, the continuous signals as well as the discrete signals. Though both are analogous, if you can understand the continuous signal perfectly, then discrete signals can also be one can find out easily. Yeah. So this property is called as time shifting properties. In the time shifting, the original signal, you can see that if this is my x of t signal and this is a pulse, this kind of pulses you can see in various power electronics gating pulses and so on, though the time may not be minus 2, 0, and 2. So what is happening is if something is like minus 2, in very rough way, what we can say that though it is not physically, you cannot say that what is time equal to minus 2 and so on. What we can say that, for example, if you assume this is the current time, if you assume that 0 is my current time, and let us assume if the time units is minutes, so minus 2 means 2 minutes before what was my signal. 2 minutes before what was the signal, what is my current signal, and what will be my, after 2 minutes of signal. Or more specifically, if you see that this is my current signal, which is at t equal to 2 seconds, although in this axis, what I can say that if I include the previous time as well, then I can say that currently now the value is at current time at t equal to 4. So this will be shifted by 2. So this will be the when t equal to 2 and this will be t equal to 0. That means when time equal to 0, I have started here. When time equal to 2 seconds, 2 minutes, I'm here. Now let us assume time equal to 4 seconds. I'm it here. So what is happening here is I'm shifting. So when x of t has been moved to x of t minus t0, so what is happening? Then signal is delayed and shift to the right. So more, we will see this kind of examples more in the coming lectures. So only one thing you can see that if what is happening if you are moving forward or moving backward. So here x of t, wherever t is there, if you replace with t minus t naught, wherever t is there, if you replace t minus t naught, we say that signal is delayed. So t equal to 0. Let us assume t naught equal to 2. What is happening here? If you shifted t equal to x minus t naught, that means delayed. It is going in the back. So similarly, if you just keep on shifting that one, then we call that particular sequence as time shifting. And time advancing. Time advancing is x of t. When if it's instead of t, if you substitute t plus t0, then we can call it as a time signal advancing. So shift to the left. So what is happening when you submit t instead of t? If you submit t plus t0, then you will be obviously you will be getting the signal advancement. For example, let us assume this minus t naught plus 2. If I substitute minus t naught plus 2 here, what is going to happen? T equal to minus t naught plus 2. T naught plus 2, t and t naught you get cancel, then x of 2, then it will be going to shift. So that's what the time shifting property you can see here. And for the time scaling, generally the time scaling for the given time function x of t, x of at is a time scale. You can see that this a of t, if it is a linear one, then you can write x of at equal to a into x of t. Is a time scale version of x of t. For a is greater than 1, period of function reduces to a function speed. If a is less than 1, the period of the x of t increases and the function slow down. So this aspect we will see what is happening here. So remember, this is the time scaling. That means this time, if you see this time, I am scaling either upscaling or downscaling based upon the value of a. If a is greater than 1, then we call it as upscaling. If a is greater than 1, we call it as downscaling. If a equal to 1, then my function is the same. This is not called as a scaled function. So if a is greater than 1, then period of time x of t reduces and speeds up. So we'll see what is the meaning of it. Okay. So now you can see we mean to say that speeds up. That means you can see that here there are only two pulses, but when I x of t, then what I'm doing is I did the time scaling. That means wherever t is there, I substitute 2t. That means it speeds up the things. That means if there is three pulses here, now you can see that there may be six pulses. So because x equal to 2t twice. So when I say that it is scaled by twice, then obviously your output will also scale by twice. The period of x of t, x of 2 is 2, and the period of y of t is 1. So this is to the period, you can see that x of 2t and x of 3. So actually what it means to say that if it is in 10, if there is 10 times if you're doing the scaling, then instead of 3, within the same time, you can see 30 pulses. Let us assume 1 pulse, 2 pulse, 3 pulse for 1. If I say that 30 within the same, in between minus 3 and 3, there will be 30 pulses. So very fast signal. So what do you mean? So what you can see that here the function speeds up. So you can see that here it is a speeding up. It doesn't mean that speeding up means it will go very fast, but within this time there will be more pulses. You can see that instead of 3, you'll be having more pulses. And now the time scaling, if you reduce the time scaling, you can see that what is the effect, continuous effect. So now we can see the time scaling where y of t, find w of t, y of 3t, then y of this is 2t, if it is 3t, and t by 3. So what is happening here, it is not the continuously time varying. So you can see that it is not completely time varying. So a very simple way to see this one, wherever t is there, if you substitute 3t, what is going to happen? Suppose if I want my signal w of t equal to y of 3t. So how do I do that? The first thing is what I will substitute w of 0. If I substitute w of 0, what will happen here? Y of 0. What is my y of 0? Y of 0 is 2 from this particular. When I substitute t equal to 1, what is going to happen? When I substitute t equal to 1 here, then my right hand side will become y equal to 3. Sorry, y of 3. So y of 3, what is y of 3? Is 2. So that's why. So what I'm saying here is, if I t equal to 1 in this expression, so y of 3 is nothing but 2. Apart from that, if you substitute anything, that will become 0. So once again, I will explain what is happening here is how to write, how to find this w of t equal to y of 3t. The first thing is you have to analyze this thing. You write down t value, you write down y of t. What is the t value? T value is 0. Let us assume 1, 2, 3. And the corresponding y of t is for all the particular y of t, it will be 2. For example, let me insert. I will explain you here what is happening. Let us assume this is my t. I will change the color. Let us assume this is y of t. And let us assume this is w of t. First, we'll see this what is happening. When t equal to 0, I will say t equal to 0, 1, say 2, I will say 3. So what is happening from this particular plot? When t equal to 0, my output is 2. When t equal to 1, which is here, my output is 2. When t equal to 2, 2. When t equal to 3. For other values, let us assume 4, my output is 0 because here nothing is there when 4. Now y of t equal to y3 of t. So wherever this t is there, if I substitute similar things, then what is going to happen? Okay. If I substitute 0 here, t equal to 0, then what does it mean? Y of 0. Y of 0, what is y of 0? From here is 2. The next value, if I substitute t equal to 1, wt equal to 1, the output will be y of 3. What is y of 3? Y of 3 will be 2. If I substitute t equal to 2 here, that means w of 2, what is going to happen here? 3 into 2, 6. Y of 6. What is y of 6? It is 0 because nothing is defined. So that's why it will become 0 and 0 and 0. For example, if I substitute t equal to 4, if substitute t equal to 4, then this will become 3 4 is 12. Y of 12. Y of 12. What is y of 12 here? Nothing. It is all 0. So that's why it is 0. So the same thing, if I plot it here, you can see that when t equal to 0, my output is 2. When t equal to 1, the output is 2. So this is what you can see here, what is happening. So now we will do the another thing, another scaling. We'll see what is happening in the scale. Now what I'm going to do here is v of t equal to y of t by 3. That's t by 3. So now let's see what is happening here. Now when I substitute t equal to 0 here, what is going to happen? Y of 0. Y of 0 is 2. When I substitute here v of t equal to 1, here what is it is going to happen? 1 by 3. So 1 by 3. So you can see that for all values of this from 0 to 3, this is defined. Although I have only written the discretized, it doesn't mean that only at t equal to 1, t equal to 2, equal to 3. For all values in between, in anything between t equal to 0 to 3, my output value will be 1. So here what is happening? So here it will be when t equal to 1, it will become 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 is again, here you can see that 1 by 3 value something is right. So the corresponding y value will be 2. So similarly for all values, let us assume what is happening at t equal to 3. If I want v of t equal to 3, then y of 3 by 3. Y of 3 by 3 means y of 1. What is y of 1? Y of 1 is 2. That's why it is coming as 2. Similarly here also 2. I can keep on going till 9. Exactly what is happening at 9? At 9, if you see, if I substitute 9, so what is this is going to become y of 9 by 3. That means y of 3. This signal you can see that it is only defined till y of 3. So y of 3 it will be 2. If let us for example, if I consider it as t equal to 10, then what is going to happen here is y of 10 by 3, that is 3.3. 3.3, what is here? 0. So for all other values greater than t equal to 9, this v of t will be 0. So up to this only, up to 0 to 9 only, it will have the two values. For remaining beyond that one, it is 0. So that's why if I substitute all this value and if I assume that in between also there is 2, if I join, then it will look like this. So this is called as the time scaling property. So time reversal is also called as time folding. So till now what we have seen, y of t equal to either upscaling or downscaling. That means 3t, 4t, 5, 3, 5t, or t by 1, t by 2, sorry, t by 2, t by 3, and so on. In time reversal is reversed with respect to time, that is y of t equal to x of minus t of 10 from the given function. So this is called as a time reversal. So now we will see what is happening for the time reversal. So the idea here is wherever t is there, substitute minus t and see what is happening. So this is a plot which is this is my will make it more. Okay, that is fine. So you can see that this is my signal, x of t is my signal. Now what I'm saying here is y of t equal to x of minus t. So to do this one also, what we have to do here is we have to again we will draw, for the simplicity we will draw a table. In the table, this is my time t and this is my time x of t, and this is y of t equal to my x of minus t. Y of t equal to x of minus t. So what I'm going to do here is, since the value is defined for minus t value as well, so let us assume this is some minus some value. So what I'm going to see here is, let us assume this is minus t3. When I say that minus t3, this my x of t is 0, and then later on we will see what to do with this one. And when let us assume this is equal to t2 minus t2, let us assume this maximum value, whatever you're seeing, is 1, and let us assume this is half, assume 0.5. So this magnitude here is, I will say that this is 0.5, and this I will say it is a maximum. And what is happening at 0, I will assume it is sorry, this is not at t2. Let us assume it is 0. If it is 0, it is 0.75. So if it is 0, then I will say it is 0.75. When it is t2, let us assume t2, I will say it is a 1. Though I have not exactly scaled down, but this is something what I have written here like that. So now what I'm going to see here is I will replace this with wherever t is minus t. So now what is my, when I substitute, I want this output. When I substitute, when I want to see what is happening as t3, what is if I substitute t equal to t3, then it is going to happen something like this, x of minus t3. So x of minus t3 will be, let us assume t equal, we'll start with t equal to 0. What is going to happen? T equal to 0. When I substitute t equal to 0 here, y of t and this will be the same. X of t will be the same. So these two will be the same. That's why I will get the same 0.75. Okay. So now I will see for this particular value what is going to happen. If you see here, y of t, which is equal to minus t by 2, if I substitute wherever this, I want to see that minus t by 2, then what is going to happen? What will be these two values? People? Anyone can?
0.
Hmm? This particular value is 0. In between also you have to calculate. I'm just writing the edges. So what is going to happen this value? Because here you can see that 0 because I'm doing the time multiplication. This will be 0. And what about this value?
-1, sir. -1.
-1.
No, sir. One, sir.
Huh?
One, sir.
The maximum value.
One, sir.
1, sir.
1 or
One, sir.
-1. 1, right?
One, sir.
And some other values will also be come here. Okay. So the idea here is it will be the mirror image. If you see, it is not exactly mirror image, just you are swapping. You know, if you shift this to this side, and if you currently realign this one, you will get this time, you know, times reversing. This is called as a time reversal. We will see more examples in the coming classes. So this is for the discrete one. This will be this. If you see this one, this will make the things more clear. In the discrete one, what is happening here is the time shifting. I'm shifting the time. So time shifting means only this axis has been shifted. Time shifting means either you can shift this thing or you can shift this axis, y-axis. If, if you're shifting this x-axis, then we call it as a time shifting. So what is happening here? I shifted by 3 units. So whatever now here you can see that whatever the 1 unit on the one particular pulse in on the left hand side, then there will be 3 pulses. So this is the same, the table what we have seen. If n equal to what is happening -4, when n equal to -4, then n plus 3 is -1. Then the corresponding value of g n plus 3. What I suggest to you is just to do this particular operation and write g n plus 3. So the corresponding value of whatever this n equal to -4 is here, then that will make it as g n plus 3 means that inside one as -1. So -1, if it is -1, then the corresponding value is 1. So what you have to do is you have to scale accordingly. Just you are shifting the time. So this is n, this is n plus 3. For example, n equal to 0 in the normal case, we are interested in the shifting case. So when n equal to 0, so the shifted case will be n equal to 3. The corresponding value of whatever n equal to 3, if you substitute, you will be getting the g n plus 3 as 5. So that is what it is happening. To do this one, the first thing is write on this table, corresponding table. How do you write? When n equal to -1, it is n equal to -1, this is 1. When n equal to 2, when equal to 0, then it is 2. When n equal to 1, it is 3. It is linearly increasing. So as the time increases, your output also linearly increases. But what I'm interested is n plus 3. N plus 3 means 3 pulses, 3 time steps you are adding. So when you add that 3 time steps, then the corresponding value will be gn plus 3. And gn plus 3, whatever this, first of all, n plus 3 you have to see, and the corresponding value you have to pick up from here. So let us assume 4. The corresponding value for 4 will be 6. For n, it will be 1, but n plus 3, it will be 4, and gn plus 3 will be the corresponding value will be the corresponding to this one. So that is 6. So this is the time shifting for the discrete one. Okay. And the next one is the scaling. That's what we have seen, the scaling. The scaling is quite easy. So in the right hand side, if you see, just give me a minute, my monitor got off. Yeah. So now what is happening here is, okay. So now n to n. First of all, you write all the n's and multiply the 2n. So then wherever g of 2n is there, the corresponding value in the similar things what we have seen earlier. So you can see that it has been, you can see that shifted something like this. So what you can see is that whatever one step down, you can simply write like this. How to evaluate with this one? This is nothing but g of 2n. Suppose 0 for 0. So g of 2n will be wherever n is there, it will be scaled up to 2. So the corresponding value of 2, you can write it as a 4. So the similar way. So if you plot this one here, then you will be getting the time scaling, something like this. So that's what we have seen in the discrete and the continuous one. So where can you use these applications of time scaling and other things? As I told, time scaling or the signal shifting. So the signals, what the one such example, what I told, if you want to boost up the signal, then what you have to do, instead of the T, you can boost up the signal by using the corresponding gain amplifier, and you can shift that accordingly in the time axis also. That will give us the boosted signal. So now what you have to do here is let us assume All of you, please do this problem. If x of n equal to 1, minus 1, 3, 2, then illustrate x of 2n minus 8. Do this one now. And I will randomly ask someone that you have to share your screen. My x of n equal to 1, minus 1, 3, 2. That means let's start this with n equal to 0. When n equal to 0, it is 1. When n equal to 1, it is minus 1. N equal to 2 is 3. N equal to 3 is 2. 0, 1, 2, 3. When corresponding, the remaining all values are 0. Then you now illustrate x of 2n minus 3. What you have to do, wherever n is there, if you want to calculate this expression for n equal to 0, and we substitute 0, then this will become x of minus 3. That means when n equal to 0, my output will be 0. This will keep on going when n equal to 1. What is going to happen? Negative. N equal to 2, I'm saying it discrete, so n will be only 1, 2, 3, 4. When n equal to 2, this will become x of 2 into 2 minus 1. So this will become x of 1. X of 1 is minus 1. All of you draw this one.
Sir, we can't able to see, sir.
Not visible, sir.
Oh my goodness. Now it is visible?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Full screen mode, there is some issue. I don't know it is with me or with the process. Okay, let us assume this is my x of n. X of n is this value. The meaning here is when n equal to 0, my output is 1. When n equal to 1, the corresponding value is minus 1. When n equal to 2, the corresponding value is 3. When n equal to 3, the corresponding value is 2. I want to draw x of 2n minus 1. How do I draw? In the x-axis, it will be n. When n equal to 0, what will happen if I substitute n equal to 0? This will become x of minus 3. X of minus 3 is 0 because all other values will be 0. When if I substitute n equal to 1, then this will become x of minus 1. X of minus 1 is also 0. When I substitute n equal to 2 here, when I substitute n equal to 2, this will become x of 2 to the 4 minus 3. That will x of 1. What is x of 1? X of 1 is minus 1.
Minus.
And then similarly, when I substitute n equal to 2, then what is going to happen? N equal to 2. N equal to 3, let's say n equal to 3. 2 into 6 minus x of 3. X of 3 is 2. When n equal to 4, we substitute n equal to 4. 2 4 is 8 minus 5. The 5 is not given. So the remaining all values will become 0. So now all of you draw this one and let's see what is happening. Draw this one now. All of you, please be on mute. Now the next thing is you have to develop for MATLAB code for time shifting. This we will see how to develop this one. This you think of it, you may be knowing the MATLAB, right? So how to develop this one, think of it. And so today what we have discussed is various operations on the signals. So time shifting, signal multiplication, time reversal, time scaling, and signal addition. Signal addition is nothing but adding two signals for the continuous and discrete. And some of the applications one can use, one can apply these concepts in the communication, medical, radars, and navigation. So these are some of the applications. So now I will ask randomly someone to, to what I can